Hello ladies and gentlemen, episode 8. This time, welcome to TechVB Podcast. Thanks for joining in. This time is a tutorial, and this tutorial is going to be about something I'm really excited about, and that is very useful in my opinion. And as the title may suggest, I don't know that yet, it's about Google search operators. Now, what is a Google search operator? Operators. Basically, what it is ability to filter out your search results. So, things like date and site can be specified as an operator. And that means that you can choose the website you want to search, basically, and the date. And there are other ones, things like and or, which means something like, site, let's say wired.com, and Samsung and Apple, which means those two keywords must appear in the search engine results and in the content. That's what they are. And there are other ones which are a bit not as useful, I suppose, things like in URL and whatnot, they're not very practical. Sometimes they are, but usually they are not. So yeah, that's that, So without further ado, I suppose I'm gonna move on to practical tutorial, because I don't want to talk too long, do I? I'm back with practicality. As I said, there are multiple operators. One of my favorite is site. It's very simple, but very powerful when you are using that correctly. So let's go. I'm gonna say something like site wired.com. What I say? Site wired.com. And I'm saying Apple. So here I'm saying use site wired.com and use keyword Apple as a search. So what I'm going to get is everything from Wired about Apple. Well, there you go. Apple. So it's very good in my... So I have Firefox opened and Google loaded. The most powerful search engine in the world. For example. And I'm specifying the keyword I'm looking for, So, if I say Apple News alone, I could get a bunch of websites, Some of them are good, some of them are not good. And, it's all fine. But, just by specifying a site, I'm filtering out a lot of data, So, effectively I'm searching the Wired website in easy way, actually. I could say, wired.com and, which is capital A, capital N, capital D, space Samsung. I don't know how to type. There we go. So now what I'm specifying is Apple and Samsung should appear in the results. Well, there we go. You see, now I'm specifying two keywords, Apple and Samsung. And that means I'm going to get news either related to both companies or about Samsung or Apple separately. It really depends how the titles are appearing. But either way, Samsung and Apple should appear. Actually, you know what? That's not true. It will bring me the results regarding Apple and Samsung together. What would not? So you see, the thing is that's and. This and that should do. Otherwise, it's not going to work, right? So this and that should exist. Otherwise, it's not a true statement. Now, if I use things like or, I'm going to replace that with capital O, capital R. Now, that's going to bring me the results about Samsung or Apple, or actually both. Because they're or that, right? So, okay, unknown. Well, there you go. You see, I got one result from Apple, about Apple, and another result from Google. So yeah, those are very important, and or. The same way you can use minus sign. It's just, it's called like logical operators in programming. And those are also applying in the search results. Okay, So we looked at site operator and 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 or operators, right? And that's all fine, and they are very useful in specifying exactly, the website and the keyword. Now, another, of course, important operator is date, because, date of the results matters a lot. Sometimes you want old result, sometimes you want, the latest and greatest, as they say. So we have two operators for that. It's called before and after. And those are basically ways to specify the exact date. So I'm gonna show you the example as I did before. So I say site wired.com. Now if I say before, let's say 2020. So what happens here is basically this. I will get results before 2020 as it says. So it's going to be 2019. Before and after, it's like it's a logical thing in a sentence. Before 2020 and after 2020, So it does not require lots of explanation. Browse mode, document busy, heading level 1 accessibility links. White news feed, find the latest cars, news from White, find the latest Bitcoin news from White, Bitcoin latest news, photos, find the latest news from White, find the latest news from White, the latest news, photos, find the latest news from White, see related science and technology, find the latest maps news from White, see related science and technology, the latest news, photos and video, Google is finally taking smartwatches seriously, fits latest solid, but teams Google is finally taking the latest news, photos and videos White, https://Google is finally taking smartwatches seriously, fits latest solid, but teams made for a different it just doesn't give me. Okay, let's see.
Search landmark, search combo box, left auto complete site colon.com before colon 2020. Focus mode,
okay, I'm gonna say something like Apple. I'm gonna be more specific about things. Sometimes, it's worthwhile combining two operators, not one, because I'm not very specific. What I gave here is just give me results from 2020 from Wired. That doesn't really, it's not very useful. So I say, I could say Apple. So basically what I did, I specified the keyword in front of the search criteria. It actually works both ways on Google, I believe. Let's check it out. Yeah, there we go. So, I said Apple, site wired.com, and before 2020. I could say, site before 2020, site Apple, site wired.com, and then Apple. It doesn't matter as long as you provide those operators, when you provide those operators, you're gonna get what you're gonna get, no matter the order. So yeah, that's that. I could also use after. So what the name suggests, everything will be after 2020, for example, So, that will be 2021 results, because everything after 2020 is 2021, and 2022 does not exist, actually. So, yeah. So, site wired.com after colon 2020. And it's going to be 2021 results. Although I'm going to be more specific about this. And I say Apple, and then site wire.com, and after 2020. Well, there we go. It's just 6 days ago. So basically now all the Apple news are in 2021 range, So those dates are very, very useful for research and in general if you want to be more up to date, because Google sometimes gives you more, sometimes Google gives you all the results if it thinks it's very credible and very good content, but sometimes you need more up to date content, so there is lots of reasons why would you need a specific date and whatnot. And you could of course say before 2020, 02, 15, so you can specify the year, the month, and the day if you really want to do it. I'm not gonna do that because it's very easy. You just give a date, 2020/02/14, for example, so you can check the news which are yesterday, only yesterday and nothing else, so that's very good. I forgot another one called file type. As the name implies, is specifying a file type you're looking in the result. So again, I'm saying site wired.com file type PDF, and as always we're gonna get results from Wired, but this time we're gonna get results that contain PDF document.
PDF. Browse mode. Site colon file to ICO society by 109 like Department or agency of the federal 1. Government or non-federal entity. Federal agency data mining report acquired. Main
There you go.
data mining report acquired. Heading level 3 HTTPS /
And that's a PDF file. Basically, I got all the results
Federal brilliant pebbles to wired.
that contain PDF.
July 13, 2005. There went brilliant pebbles to wired.
Yeah, so that's very useful, particularly for the government documents you may be required or whatnot. Research papers, all that jazz, file type, TXT, XLS if you were looking some kind of data, So yeah, those are search operators that I think are important. And I hope you find those useful, please use them, practice with them, and you realize how powerful they are. And, it's very simple to use them. So once you learn one or all of them, you could not live without them. Because you're going to be very specific with what you want, and you're going to be, very surprised that you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. And you don't have and you no longer have to be searching for different results. So, thanks for watching. And as I always say, don't forget to visit techvb.net for more.